Hey beautifuls and beloveds, this is gonna be a quick video actually.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about, we think we figured out part of the problems and why it seems like you guys are coming across as snarky people doing things behind the scenes and we didn't want it done this way. Sorry, but not completely. How can I say this? I don't want to take away our power in a sense and apologize for things that we might not have to apologize for, but yet we do want to show courteousness and concern and compassion in case we're right about this. So this is why we needed to get together on this. So we see this as a complex problem because we get the idea that you guys didn't want to come forward because you didn't want to trigger Q, because you didn't want everyone to drop dead from all this toxic stuff. We get that. But we also get that we can't keep this hamster wheel going because then we're going to die, and then what's the point of even having come this far? So we're going to talk about classification and declassification of documents, particularly pertaining to our dissertation and any of our information, because we sent it to Trump and Barr. And I think we figured out what the problem is, so double check us on this. Go ahead.
So may I? Alright. So, from what I gathered, Barr probably classified our dissertation, which creates a problem. So, here's what the problem is. When a document is classified, there's only two methods for a president to declassify it. You either basically tell a person in the office, probably, I guess, in the DOJ or whatever, to declassify that document, and it becomes a process. They file paperwork, they put it here, it goes into a public library or something like that so people can access, look at it at will. And the other method is the obvious one, which the president just says it publicly what it is, and that is the very second it becomes declassified officially. Basically, one's a long drawn out filing process, and another is a very instant reveal, which would have to be done basically publicly.
Which is what we are pushing for right now.
In other words, news cameras pointing at the person.
Which would be me, because it's my story.
So,
And also, President Biden, Vice President Harris, if Trump wants to be on board with us too, there's a lot of people that should be involved in this.
okay, so basically with this, I don't know where I was going with it. You talk.
Oh, okay. So with the problem, because I didn't want any of this done behind the scenes, because we didn't want to have it. I don't want to be brushed under a rug. I don't want our problem of my intellectual property being stolen, brushed under the rug. I didn't realize at the time when I sent the dissertation that this was a bigger picture. I didn't realize that it wasn't just corporations who were given my intellectual property, and for them, they used it as they wanted. I didn't realize that it was actually the Q group. Not QAnon, not the, come on guys. It's not a name I even made up. So, if you're hung up on that, just call it the corporation, meaning a corporate group of about 13 men with about 50 financiers that do a lot of really bad and evil things to our world. And we are basically wanting to stop that now that we know for sure what this is. Of course, in the beginning, I wanted my intellectual property to be in my ownership and nobody doing regurgitated reworkings of it or pushing me down or copying me and making my original diluted or anything like that. Or our shows, we would do shows and they would basically thwart them and lie and say, oh, they're sold out. That's a real positive thing to say. You see how they kind of go around that so they don't just disparage our show or me or anybody involved with it. They would say like it's sold out and tell a lie, and so they would thwart our shows, and then I couldn't get my red ribbons message out to more than just a few small handful of people, and etc.
I remember what I was going to go with this. Okay, so basically the problem as a result is that if the president files the documents to be declassified, basically everyone gets a heads up that the document's going to be declassified, and either people can draw it out, expedite it, but most likely it'll get just drawn out, and then these Q people will freak out and retaliate. and then give incentives to not declassify it and things like that. Now, with the other method where the president just speaks it out publicly, when you have something that would basically reveal the existence and the names of all these Q people, and the whole mass intellectual property theft, because that's basically huge amounts of property theft.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of works since I was a little girl.
And obviously that would create a huge, I'm not sure what kind of a problem it would be with intellectual property across the whole country, but everyone would freak out and there would be a huge problem as a result, and then of course it calls out the bad people, and who knows what they're going to do, and they basically retaliate immediately, theoretically.
Theoretically, but we can't be afraid of that because it's just, we'll all be on this stupid hamster wheel for the rest of our lives and never be able to live long and prosper. Who doesn't want this to happen? We do. We want this to happen. And we want you guys to be emboldened and not afraid of what they can do. Yeah, we know what they can do, but if we all stick together on this, they can't. We know this for a fact. So we're coming more and more forward with everything to make sure, I mean, this is my intellectual property. We copyright protected our dissertation. So we don't know if that can actually be classified. How can that be classified?
I guess that's the thing, they don't really look at that aspect.
They kind of have to, because we have the little C symbol all over it, and I think it's registered at the Copyright Office too. But the thing is, you know, it's our work, and yeah, you can copyright a letter. You publish it.
Yeah, because as far as you and I are concerned, it is a public document, but as far as they're concerned, it hasn't been put out into the public consumption via media, so they're probably trying, Barr classified it, hoping to keep everyone quiet. And basically what would also be the problem is that if it's classified, it also makes it, I think, and I'm not sure about this, but I think it makes it illegal for people to circulate and dig into the information, share it, talk about it, you know, aside from the president himself, and do things about it. And that's what that problem would be, because it creates a legal or illegal thing. But if we address it the way we do, it kind of alleviates that even being a so-called legal problem, because it's not even supposed to be something that should be classified in the first place.
Yeah,
but it kind of puts us in a position where we would have to be the ones to basically
declassify it.
Yeah.
And we don't have a problem doing that. And so the other problem is too, you know, there's nothing that they can sue us for, because we can prove it all. But then go ahead, sue us. So what? We don't even own anything. What, you want our SUV? That thing that's falling apart? Yeah, go ahead, have our little under surveillance vehicle. I mean, it's and plus we get to dig too. You know, they already know everything on us. There's nothing there to dig. There's nothing that we did. Anything that we did, even if we did anything wrong, you know, being a Messianic Jew, Messianic Christian, you write a book about it, you talk about it, you make videos about it so you can help other people not make the same mistakes. So it's already in public. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And we've not done anything wrong at all. So, you know, there's that. Yeah, so nobody wants a lawsuit because they hope, you know, that they can scare people back. But just say, do you know discovery phase? They don't want to hear those terms. So discovery phase, discovery phase, discovery phase. We even know how to do a very effective one. We know how to ask for the documents. We know how to dig and drill. Yeah, we do. So, you know, they're afraid of us. So we lose nothing, actually, by making it public. And, you know, it's a smart thing to do. And we also hold the good guys in check by doing that, because we need to go public with this.
Because the digging basically finds out if people were lying and doing things like that too.
And, you know, if we get to dig, and you don't need money for this shit, you really don't. If you know how to file papers, and that's easy, you pay to file it, and it's really simple. You just need to know what to look for, what to ask for, how to ask for it, and yeah, I mean, it's easy. Our lives are an open book. We put everything out there. I mean, so.
And I guess to finish my point, well, since what's his name's not present at the moment,
I know, yeah.
and that was like Bar like probably timed it or some shit too,
Oh my god.
because he was there up pretty much up until almost the end.
Yeah, so, you know, and this is a shame that this has happened, but guys, don't be afraid. We're going forward, and we're going to do this with or without anybody's help. And we would like everybody else to be a part of this because it's just a nice thing to win with more people. You know, and we will reward helpers. I mean, I'm not kidding. We will. I have this whole thing, not just a monetary thing. I don't know, I'll give you a sack of gold. I don't know how it's done, but I mean, we would love to make it like a ceremony, even if it takes all day or all weekend. The more that help us, nothing would give me greater pleasure. And we would well reward you. And we want to make this huge, giant wall, kind of like, you know, the memorial for the Vietnam Wall. But instead of people who died in service, these are going to be honoring all your names, all of you, for helping us. And I would like it to be a yearly celebration.
Yeah.
I think it would be a beautiful thing. And I think it needs to be done. Seldom do we see good people and good men, even if you're not even famous and, you know, you're...
Yeah, and we need more big deal holidays around this time of year anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, why not, guys? I mean, let's do this. We're ready to rock and roll here. So, you know, a show of hands. We all want to live long and prosper and, you know, peace and long life. Come on. We were meant to have a long life. Hundreds and hundreds of years. It's already documented in many different documents that we found. And I'm like, oh my God, we were lied to. So the Qs are shortening our lives so they can expand theirs. And I think we're done. Okay?
Yeah, because why are people dying at the age 50 when there's people that are literally 150 in certain areas of the world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're not buying it anymore. So let's do this. And if you want our feedback, we need to be rescued. A literal rescue. We need to come forward in the public with every media there. We know people from the AP News and ABC, CBS. We know, you know, we want to approve that press list, and we will definitely take suggestions too, because we don't know everybody, but we do have a good rapport with some. And there are people who aren't big name media people, but we've worked with them and we want them on board too. If you would approve of them, make sure they're not Q affiliated. Yeah, but it needs to go out into the world. And it needs to be unhindered, uncensored. Everybody needs to be able to hear this. And then make a little video of excerpts of other people coming forward with their story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, compile something and just keep it running all flippin' day long. You did it for 9/11. This is just as important. All day. And then replay what I say. But I need to be there in person and live. He needs to be there in person and live, okay? That has to be a stipulation. We don't want to just send you a video or you read our dissertation and you still do it behind the scenes. That can't be done anymore.
Yeah, we need something like real, actual public, and you guys know that at this point.
Yeah, so don't dance around it or play semantics. You know what we mean. If anything else is done, we will sue. Okay, because we are not down. We are not down for doing this secretive stuff anymore. And we're starting to understand that maybe you guys weren't doing it intentionally, but, you know, it could have been somebody that did something kind of sneaky. So, let's just go with it. Why don't you put this up right away, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so we love you guys. Please, rescue us so we can do this. Let's do it now. Do it before more people die, okay? Because Qs are going batshit crazy, and they're creating an illusion. I don't think they're gassing the whole world, but the East Coast for sure.
Yeah, well, you know how the strategy works usually. This is an older strategy, and they're just cutting down on how they do it. Basically, if you want to keep people in a city, you gas the areas around the cities.
They make a wall.
Hmm. And then it only seems like everywhere after outside of that ring is basically seemingly sprayed heavily, but not necessarily. But then it's heavily gassed inside of the cities.
Yeah, they make like circles, you know.
Mhm.
So anyway, guys, yeah, and you didn't even rescue us, and Q's already going kind of batshit apeshit crazy. So what's the point? What's the difference now? I think that show of hands that everybody is kind of like, you know what, we're done. It's already there, so we might as well just get something good for having suffering. We're all suffering, but I think we're suffering most of all. So guys, rescue us. Let's come forward. We're ready to roll. Let's do this. We love you. Bye.